There's so much data contained in Google Analytics that it can be very daunting at first. All the information you get from it is important, so sometimes it helps to start looking at just the bits of data that are important to you. So here's the main dashboard page for the MyKindleReviews.com website. This provides us with a quick overview of how many visitors we have and what they're doing on the site. For our purposes right now, we want to look at the metrics that help us to measure the success of our SEO program. Most of it has to do with the search engine traffic and keywords, and much of that data will be found in the Traffic Sources tab. So you see, within the Traffic Sources section, we get a nice overview of where people are coming from to visit our site. This is good to know because you typically don't want any one source to be providing most of your traffic. One thing we want to look at is the percent of traffic from search. Right now, on the My Kindle Review site, most of the traffic is from search engines, with 78.46% coming from search engines. Now, this will be different for every site, and it will depend on whether it's optimized or not and what other marketing or link building you're doing. You really don't want it to be too high because if the search engines decide to do some crazy algorithm change, you could lose all your traffic. And you don't want it to be too low because that means your SEO work isn't working well. For us, it appears to be working, but we probably need to do some other forms of marketing to gain traction from referring sites and to get some direct traffic through brand recognition. An average of 50% from search engines is usually good, or even a bit higher depending on the type of website. My company's website gets around the 50% mark. Now let's look at the Search Engines tab, which will show us the number of visitors. So we have a total of 357 visitors from search for a 3-month time period. Now again, this number will depend on whether the site is optimized or how well it is optimized, but also what's the interest in what you offer on your site and the overall size of your market. If you're in a small niche or offering something very high-end, you may not get many visitors from search, but that's okay as the ones you do get should be highly targeted. If you're a small local company, you probably won't get much traffic from search either. On the other hand, if you have tons of informative content that is of interest to a worldwide or global market, you could get thousands or more visitors per day from search. My company's website receives more than 20,000 search visitors each month, as compared to this Kindle site's 150 or so. So just remember that all these numbers are relative. Now let's look at the keywords that are driving traffic to this site. Here's where you want to see if the keyword phrases for which you optimized are showing up. If you're a company that is somewhat branded, don't be surprised to see a lot of branded keywords here, as in variations of your company's name. Those are good and fine, but if you've done SEO, you want to also be seeing your keywords showing up here. Google Analytics defaults to showing us 10 rows at a time, but we can review more by clicking on the Show Rows drop-down. Now we can see all our keywords. Since we only have 126 different keywords for our small site, we can view them all at once. For larger, more established sites, you may want to just view 100 at a time. Scrolling through these keywords, it looks like we're definitely being found for many of the keywords we originally optimized for. Kindle Reviews being the main one, which may also have a lot to do with the domain name My Kindle Reviews. But we're also getting some traction on some of the book reviews and some other phrases. You'll notice that there are many variations to the keywords. While we optimized for Kindle cases, we get found for related phrases such as cool Kindle case. That's the beauty of SEO. Within here, some of the things to look for are which phrases are missing that we optimized for. If you don't see them or variations of them, then either your page isn't showing up in the search results on the first or second page for it, or perhaps it wasn't as good of a phrase as you thought it was. We can also see on this page the number of pages per visitor based on keyword phrases, and we can sort by that as well. A lot of our visitors are viewing more than one page, which is good, and we're keeping them engaged. Related to that would be the average time on site, which we can also sort by. We have quite a range here. And also related is bounce rate. Bounce rate means that the visitor came to one page and never clicked to any other. You typically want a low bounce rate. It usually means that either the user found exactly what they were looking for on the page they landed on, which would be the case for the book reviews page or an article of some sort. There just may be no reason for them to click to other pages of your site. Or the other reason may be that your site just didn't seem to be at all what they were looking for and was irrelevant to their search. Don't get too hung up on the bounce rate numbers, but do pay attention to it. If all your visitors were bouncing, then something is likely to be wrong. Now we can do something fancy here and see which page the visitor landed on from the search engine by clicking on this second box. This is a neat way of cross-referencing different sorts of metrics with each other. Let's click on this one and look at landing page. Let's also sort it back by number of visits. When you see just a slash, it's your home page. As we can see, the visitors coming from the keyword phrases Kindle reviews are pretty much getting to the home page. The Kindle stand phrase is bringing them to the accessories page, which is good, and the phrases with Kindle case are getting them directly to the Kindle case page, which is exactly how we want it, since we optimized that page for those phrases. On some sites, you may see that so many of the keyword phrases are landing people on the home page. While this is okay in that at least they're getting to your site, it may mean you need to do some additional work on your specific inner pages, meaning either they need some more instances of the keywords used within the content or tags, or perhaps they're buried too deeply in the site and don't have enough internal link popularity or page rank. You may also want to consider building outside links to those pages if applicable. Home pages tend to have the most weight with the search engines since they usually have the most link popularity. The idea is to spread that through the site so that each page can rank for its own set of phrases. If we click Goal Set 1, we'll now see a different set of numbers. Now let's cross-reference this information with our website goals so we can see how we're doing in terms of conversions. We have just one set of goals here. If you have put in more than that, you'll see more tabs here. If we click Goal Set 1, we'll now see a different set of numbers. I set up our contact form thank you page as a goal, which you can see is Goal 1. As expected for this site, I didn't get any contacts. Most business sites that are selling products or services would likely have people filling out their contact form, however, so you should see some numbers in here. For us, the clicks on our Amazon affiliate links are actually our conversion points, which is counterintuitive as they take people off our site. But since the goal of the site is to drive people to Amazon to buy the books and products reviewed, it makes sense. Let's sort by those who clicked on an Amazon affiliate link and see which keywords convert for us. Now here's something interesting that you'll probably notice a lot in your own stats. The phrases that bring the most traffic may have the lowest conversion percentage. While it sounds strange on the surface, it really does make sense. It can be because the phrases that bring the most traffic are also the most general, so you may not have exactly what the user was looking for. But it's also because if you had one visitor for a keyword phrase, and that visitor created a conversion, it's going to be 100% conversion for that phrase. But that doesn't really mean that everyone who comes in from that phrase will convert for you, so keep this in mind. We can see this here with the Kindle Reviews keyword, which brought us 162 visitors, but converted at 1.85%, whereas electronic book accessories and Kindle case reviews have a 100% conversion rate, but only one visitor for each phrase. You have to use your own judgment with all this data to figure out what it means for your site. We don't have branded keywords showing up for this site, but if your site does, you'll probably notice that those are your best converters, which of course makes sense since people who type your company name into the search engine already know about you and are specifically looking for you. Those folks are different from the ones who are searching by keyword to find companies they may not already know about. I see this all the time with my company, High Rankings site. People looking for me by name or by my company name are great converters by either signing up for our newsletter, filling out our contact form, or signing up for an in-person training class. As far as what to do with this data, you can do some spot checks of where your converting keywords are ranking in the search engines. Now remember that whatever ranking position you see may be different from what others see, so take the info with a grain of salt. However, if you find that you have some keywords that are converting well for you, but they seem to show up on page 2 of Google, you might want to work on ways of getting onto page 1 of Google for that phrase. So let's do a Google search for Kindle case reviews and see where we're showing up. Don't see us on page 1. Doesn't look like at the moment we're on the first 2 pages of Google. It would probably be a good idea for me to beef up my content about Kindle cases. Perhaps I could buy some other cases and write reviews on them. I really need it to be something more link-worthy, which it would be if it were more comprehensive. Even if I didn't want to go out and buy all the different cases, I could still showcase different types of cases. If I wanted to get even fancier, I could try to get some user-generated content by asking people to post their own reviews of their cases in my comments. We'd basically want to look at other phrases in the same way and see how we might improve our website and links to do better. It's important to note here that if you've just finished your SEO work, don't make too many snap judgments. You'll want to collect at least a few months' data to get a feel for how you're doing and what's working and what's not. To sum up, what you want to look for in your analytics over time is: look for the phrases for which you SEO'd. Traffic should steadily increase over time. If not, why? Are you not ranking? Are you ranking but not showing up high enough? Are you ranking but nobody's searching on it? Also look at which keywords people are coming in from that are not driving conversions. You might want to rethink them. Are they too general? Not really what you offer? Or perhaps your site has poor usability, so people who might be interested can't find what they need or just don't like your site. Try to look at your analytics at least once a month to assess what's going on.